Welcome back to part 2 of What If Ahsoka joined Anakin and Obi-Wan to rescue Palpatine. Thank you to those of you who watched the first part of this video. To recap what happened in the episode in the event you haven't seen it, Ahsoka had gone to rescue the Chancellor after promising Bo Katan that she would return to take back Mandalore. In their mission, the Jedi Ahsoka and the clone troopers managed to trap Dooku before he could duel Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka managed to gain control of the ship on its way to Coruscant. While she managed to get Anakin and Obi-Wan to fight for Mandalore, Dooku and Grievous survive and are on their way to deal with Maul themselves. As Sidious was seated comfortably in his office, his subordinates had already deposited the Separatist Council members on Mustafar and were swiftly travelling to Mandalore when they received a faint signal from a ship close to the system, and it indicated that they were not alone. The Separatist leaders are met by a Republic Venator-class Star Destroyer, and they have no choice but to fire from their dreadnought. Aboard the Republic ship, the Jedi have been planning for their attack on Mandalore when they are rocked by several blasts, and the navigation officer revealed the presence of a large Separatist ship on their radar. Dividing Obi-Wan and Bo Katan into attacking Mandalore, Anakin and Ahsoka boarded Jedi starfighters to divert the attacks away from the Republic. But unfortunately for the Master and Padawan, Anakin soon gets into trouble as he is surrounded by a swarm of buzz droids. Now far from the Republic ship, Ahsoka uses the Force to control Anakin's ship, whilst R2-D2 also helped to guide it back down to the hangar of the Separatist dreadnought. Skidding to a halt in the hangar bay, a battalion of super battle droids walked through the largest doors, and hiding behind a cargo module, Ahsoka tried to revive her unconscious master until he finally awoke from his slumber. The Jedi Knight took several attempts to find the lightsaber on his belt, and once he ignited it, Ahsoka defended him whilst he got his bearings back in order. Managing to get R2-D2 to try and find the airlock to the escape pods, Anakin joined in the battle with the battle droids, until a door from above them opened, revealing Count Dooku. The Sith apprentice drew his lightsaber to the side of his body, and mocked Ahsoka for her failure as a Jedi, and Anakin's eyes lit up in rage. His mind was fully focused on defeating Dooku, and before the Sith could shoot a lightning attack at Ahsoka, Anakin had lunged at the former Jedi Master, whilst Grievous shot off in an escape pod to Mandalore's surface. Bo Katan and Obi-Wan were more successful than their previous battle on the planet, but a Zabrak eluded them in the maze of underground tunnels, and as the Jedi Master left the throne room to find him, he saw the frame of Grievous landing in an escape pod just outside of the city. Obi-Wan orders for Commander Cody to warn him if Maul made an appearance, and took a speeder with Rex to find the cyborg, who was beginning to march through the city's perimeter. Leaving the clone captain to reinforce the defences, Obi-Wan faced Grievous again, and this time he will not allow him to get away. Grievous dismissed the droids around him, ignited all 4 of his blades, and locked them with that of the Jedi Masters, and Obi-Wan began to methodically dissect the warrior's limbs. Reducing Grievous to 2 lightsabers, their duel is interrupted by the sound of debris falling from above, as Anakin, Ahsoka and Dooku caused the Separatist dreadnought to change course into the surface of Mandalore. Obi-Wan rushed away from his own battle to try and save Anakin and Ahsoka, using the Force to alter the trajectory of the ship, but the Master and Padawan jumped out into the scorching ground. Grievous roared in fury at the presumed death of Dooku, flailing his remaining lightsabers at startling speed, but this only helped Obi-Wan to cut off the remaining 2 limbs, and he pointed his blade at his throat. There was no escape for the droid commander, and when Obi-Wan asked him for the identity of the Sith Lord, Grievous cackled before combusting into the air. The Jedi and Ahsoka order for the clones to search the wreckage to confirm the death of Dooku, whilst they resume their search for Maul by defeating all of the commandos that he had placed in front of all of the entrances to the sewers. The trio split into 3 different groups to form a pincer movement around Maul, and it is Ahsoka who reaches the Zabrak first, interrupting his meeting with the crime syndicate. The renegade Sith had expected Obi-Wan, but the former Jedi would be sufficient, and when his blade illuminated the dark tunnel, the other Jedi emerged from the other entrances. Maul inwardly scowled at this trap, and using his lightsaber, he carved a hole in the ceiling to jump out of, leaving his foes to give chase. The Jedi and Ahsoka lose track of Maul in the chaos, but Bo Katan and the Night Owls were watching overhead when Obi-Wan received a transmission from Commander Cody that Dooku was missing from the wreckage, and they knew that he would be on his way to find his master. The Jedi struggled to agree on whether to pursue Maul or Dooku, but the sight of the empty throne ensured that Maul would be their target. That is it for part 2 of What If Ahsoka joined Anakin and Obi-Wan to rescue Palpatine. If you'd like to see a part 3 soon, please like this video, turn on the notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment about what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.